Let's examine what calls we will be creating for our APIs. What I mean is, we need to know what we will offer to the user, what functionality, as well as what data availability. Now, this is a tutorial, so we will allow the user to do pretty much anything, meaning the user will be able to perform all CRUD operations, as well as retrieve all the data. So first, let's have a look at the books. So first, the user will be able to get all the books. And we can do so by using the get method while calling a URL API/books. Now, the URL is up to you. You can use anything you want, but this is quite a standard way, and in many ways it is expected by the users. Next, we want to be able to retrieve a single book. For that, we need to pass the ID of a book we want to retrieve. Next, we want also to retrieve a specific book that matches an ISBN that the user searches for. For that, we will go to the URL API/books/ISBN/ID. Now this is the ISBN as ID, and this is just a word in the URL. So this time the ID will be a string representing the ISBN. Next, we want to access the book's rating. In order to do that, we need to pass the book ID to the URL. Now, rating itself is calculated value. We simply get all the ratings for the book and average them. But we still need to retrieve the ratings, and this is the call that we will be using, the API/books/bookid and /rating. So these are the get methods for the book. Next, let's have a look at the author. Author get calls are similar to books. We will get all authors and a specific author based on the ID. We should also be able to return authors of a specific book. The user will enter a book ID, and we will return all authors who participated in writing the book. And we want to have a call that returns all the books an author has written. So this will be done by calling API/authors/author_ID and then /books. Next, let's have a look at categories. Of course, the first call will be to retrieve all categories and also a specific category from an ID. And next, we also want to get all categories for a book. We'll pass in the book ID and retrieve all the categories the book belongs to. And we also want to retrieve all books for a specific category. For example, we want to retrieve all horror books or all educational books, etc. And that's really all for the get calls for category. Next, let's have a look at the countries. And once again, we want to retrieve all countries and a specific country by ID. And next, we also want a call that retrieve what country an author is from. And let's also have a call that retrieves all authors from a specific country. For example, all authors from the Germany or United States. Next one, let's have a look at the reviewer API calls. And again, we'll retrieve all reviewers and a specific one by the ID. But we also want to have a call that retrieves all reviews for a specific reviewer. We'll pass reviewer ID and get all reviews associated with this reviewer. And we want to have a call that retrieves a reviewer for a review. So we will pass a review ID, and the call will return who wrote that review. And finally, we have reviews. So we will get all reviews and a specific review by ID. And also we'll have a call that will return all reviews for a book. So we will pass a book ID in the API, and we will get back all the reviews for the book. And finally, we want to get a book of a review. So we have a review and we want to find out what book this review belongs to. So we will pass the review ID into the call and retrieve that book. Alright, so these are our get calls. Obviously, we will also be adding calls for creating a record as well as deleting and editing records. But for now, let's just start creating our get API calls. And so now the true fun of creating an API begins. Let's do it!